Well, how's it going, guys? Oh, well, we're cobbling together here. I'm having trouble with I put new chains on this thing last fall, actually late last winter. And I had this one on for a while, that's all seemed good, but I put this one on, and for whatever reason it wants to keep running off the gear. I did have problems with this one. This auger takes the shit to the back of the spreader, so it always wants to push ahead. So I welded this beam in here inside the frame and this little piece of round stock. That took care of me for quite a few years, keeping that back. What's happening now is this one brings the shit up to the discharge, so that's wanting to push back. But there's I don't know, 1/4 inch of play if I had to guess. So I was able to take and push this back a little more, and I hammered in this plate, so I think I'll weld that onto that round stock. Hoping that'll take care of it. Either that, or I'll have to go to the back of the spreader where that stub shaft goes through and possibly put a spacer in there to keep this from moving. There is a correct way to fix this stuff. It's just really time consuming and expensive. And you can see this is no gym. This thing wasn't that great a shape when I bought it. Probably 10 years ago, if I had to guess. I put all new steel sides in. See, about the only thing good left on that's stainless steel carriage bolts. But even, you know, keeping it scraped off, it metal gets eaten over time. So I'm gonna try not to stick too much into this thing anymore. I basically only use it in the wintertime after we get a bunch of snow on the ground, and luckily there's no snow on the ground yet. Pretty muddy out there. We got just about an inch of rain the other day. So another thing we had going on, these idlers here, I was missing a spring with this big chain underneath. So of course you never have the right springer laying around, so I had this one. I didn't have any regular chain, that's what they normally use, so I just bolted in some old chain off of I think these are like T50 links or something like that, if I remember right. You see them a lot on corn pickers and even chopper boxes to run the beaters and whatnot. So it actually worked out pretty decent. Hooked that spring in down there and bolted it around here. So I guess we'll weld that up and we'll give her a trial run. If that don't work, I'll take you around back here and see what we got in mind. This is the back of the spreader. So here's a shaft, the stub shaft on these augers goes through just a holder, and basically all that's in there is a plastic bushing. You would think for something that does what this does would be a little heavier, better setup than that, but it's not. So I guess my plan would be to pull this housing off and put some kind of spacer in there inside that bushing. Really, you're kind of limited to them, so I don't think those stub shafts stick in there just horrible far. So you ain't got a whole lot to work with, because you don't want them sticking too far out. Else if you get too much pressure on that auger, you'll pop them things out of the holder. So we're going to try that first up front, see what that does, and if that don't work, we'll play around back here and see if we can limp her through for another year or two, or unless some deal comes along. Find the right deal, take the chains off of this thing and fill her up full of scrap and haul her away. All Alright guys, we're going to give her a whirl. See what kind of mess we can make. Looks like it's working so far. Well, it's getting to be that time of day again. Get this load unloaded, scrape the spreader up a little bit. Time to head back to the barn. Alright, just gonna scrape this down and take this here and clean out under them hammers and go in here and scrape this out. I guess that's kind of ass backwards. Scrape that out. Then we'll clean this down, run everything out, then clean them hammers out. Seems like this is working pretty decent. I did notice a couple of times this chain tried to just kind of got up there, but it popped right back down. So I don't know if it's you might have to go in there and try to push this auger up a little bit, or maybe a guy should just cheat a little and grind a little on these teeth. We'll see what happens. It wouldn't work at all before, so we're making progress. So I guess we'll call this good enough. See what happens the next couple of days. I don't know if that guy's going to get here to move that dirt so we can finish them sheds up or not. Hard to say. We'll have to see. So thanks for watching. We'll catch everybody later.